Hey everyone, my name is Erin and welcome to Everywhere on Earth with Erin Travel Channel. Today I'm going to continue talking about Jordan, and this installment is about Wadi Rum and the Dead Sea. And these are two attractions that if you end up going to Jordan, you will more than likely go see them. It will be included on your tour, or if you're traveling on your own, you'll want to put those in your itinerary for sure. So we leave Petra in the late afternoon and drive for around 2.5 hours, and we reach our desert camp. Now, we didn't really spend a lot of time. We got here in the late afternoon and then we left the next day in the early afternoon. So not a lot of time. If you have time, you might want to spend an extra day there. So Wadi Rum is also known as the Valley of the Moon. It's a valley cut into the sandstone and granite rock in the southern part of Jordan. So scenes of Wadi Rum were first made famous when Lawrence of Arabia was filmed there back in the 1960s. And now most recently, Disney's live action version of Aladdin. And if you watched my Amman video, you'll know that Will Smith dined at one of the restaurants that I went to. And the owner was super excited about that and he had a picture of him on his wall. So Will Smith was in Jordan. Also, like any movie that takes place on Mars is usually filmed here. So like The Martian with Matt Damon and a few of the Star Wars movies, it doubles as some of those like crazy planets in Star Wars. So chances are you've seen Wadi Rum in a lot of films. So some other activities you can do here are rock climbing, you can go horseback riding, you ride camels, you can go stargazing at night, you can do ATV rides through the desert. So where we're staying tonight is a place called Captain's Camp, and I really like it. It's a really cool setup, and the guys that work there are really, really nice, very welcoming. Here's some photos here of the camp. Tonight I'm rooming with a girl named Nikki, and we luck out because the camp has decided to give us all upgrades. So we were staying in basic tents and now we're staying in deluxe tents. And Nikki and I get the super deluxe tent that has like 5 beds in it and a couch. Like it's probably made for a large family or large groups traveling together. Doesn't matter, it's just for one night, but at least it's cool it has the bathroom in the tent because some of the other tents we would have had a shared bathroom. So we get there around 6:30 and the sun's just beginning to set. So I'm like, well, gotta grab my camera and like rush out and get some sunset pictures. But you know what? A lot of the tall rocks around the camp are blocking the view, so I don't really get a chance to there's this one here, there's a couple here. Not the sunset pics I would have liked, but you know, there you go. So now it's almost time for dinner and I'm super excited because tonight we are having zarb. And so as you see here from this picture, the guys at the camp are pulling the meat out of the ground, and this is how they cook. This is what zarb is. So they take the meat and they put it on hot coals underneath the desert. So the desert sand is hot. So they cook all kinds of like chicken, meat, rice, everything in there, and they season it, you know. So now it's time, there's a massive buffet of food and it's time to line up, and there's a few other tour groups here, and let's just say they don't really get the concept of lining up in an orderly fashion. And one of the girls in my group is getting like super mad and she's yelling at them and telling them to get in the back of the line. It was quite funny. She's basically saying what we're all thinking. So Ian and I grab a table, sit down, and I mean, check out this plate. A little bit of everything. So we've got like the chicken, we've got some beautifully, beautifully roasted potatoes. Maybe they were in the ground too, I don't know. Rice, pita, they make all their own bread here too. Veggies, there's like carrots and beets and all kinds of, oh, seriously. I will say, I thought my best meal was in Petra, but now like this was my best meal in Jordan for sure. So now we're sitting around, and to my absolute delight, there are tons of cats running around. So they're like the camp cats, and there's tons of like little kittens, and they're running around looking for food. And you know, I wouldn't say that they're like starving for food. You know, they probably get fed very well here, but you know, they're scavengers and this is their mealtime. I'm like, I don't care, like jump up on me, come get my food, I'll feed you right off my plate. Like, doesn't matter to me. They're just so cute. And this is a picture of the kitty in the shisha pipes. They're just everywhere. Love it. So now after dinner, Ian and I find a little place to sit and relax, you know, in our little food coma. And then we just happen to sit in front of this teapot on the fire. And I'm like, Ian, can you pour me some tea? Because this teapot is huge, like it's massively, and it's hot, obviously, and like there's no way I could have picked this teapot up. So now Ian becomes the master tea pourer, and he's pouring tea for myself, and a few other people walk by, and he's like, oh, here, have some tea. So he was, you know, getting right into it. He's a good little tea pourer, that's for sure. I don't even know what kind of tea it is. It's the kind of tea you would drink. It's not mint tea, but it's the kind of tea you drink at a Bedouin camp, and I love it. So we think, you know, the night's winding down, and then whoop, this traditional music starts playing, this DJ they got, and so everyone, all the guys in the camp are like encouraging people to dance, and I'm like, I'm quite comfortable, and Ian's like, just go dance. Of course, he doesn't want to come dance. I'm like, fine, I'll go dance. It's pretty easy dancing, like you're either in a circle or you're with a partner and you're kind of just kicking your feet out into the center, and yeah, that's about it. There's not much to it, but it was fun. We all did that. So then before I go to bed at night, I go into the reception area because that's where the Wi-Fi signal is. Yes, we got Wi-Fi in the desert. And then I'm sitting down catching up on my Instagram and whatnot, and this cute cat comes and sits on my lap, and he's the cutest little thing. Look. And I almost don't want to leave because he's so comfy. And then when I do leave, then he follows me to my tent, and I'm like, you can't come in here, kitty, as much as I want you to. You can't come in. And then the young girls from the UK, they're like scared of everything. I don't know. So they had their door open. I'm like, hey, you guys, you might want to close your door because there's a cat that just followed me back. And they're like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, it's just a cat. But anyways, thought I'd give them a fair warning. So anyways, the next morning we have I have a decent sleep. It's okay. Next morning we're treated to another amazing breakfast at the camp. Now we pile into a bunch of trucks and we go out for our desert safari. And now before I leave, I get one of the cute Bedouin guys at the camp to tie my scarf that I bought yesterday from Petra. Now technically I could probably learn to tie it myself, but it's much more fun when you ask a cute Bedouin guy to tie it for you. Trust me. So I've got my scarf on, ready to go, ready for the desert heat. Now, basically, you know, it's a desert. There's a lot of rock formations. They're really neat. How they're all kind of different, and yeah, so we're driving in and out and around, and we get to this, see a lot of camels and whatnot, and you could, like, technically you could take a camel instead of a truck ride. Truck ride's a little more fun and a little easier, but a camel is like more of a experience, I guess. It's just not very easy to ride a camel. I've done it before. Not the most comfortable thing in the world, but it's a cool thing to do when you're in the desert. So now we first make this stop, and it's like a sandy ramp, and it leads up to this top of the rock that's going to offer some views. Now, with my tiny legs and my shitty knees, I'm trying to climb up here, as you see, but the sand is super, super thick, and don't underestimate how difficult it is to climb up the sand like that. Like, I tried, I'm like, I am just literally getting nowhere. So I decide that the views from down here are just as good. And as I'm waiting around, Khalid and his buddies, they're all sitting around talking and smoking, and I can see all these cute little footprints in the sand, and I ask him, like, oh, what animals are around here? Because I, you know, haven't seen any, and he doesn't know. This is like one thing that he doesn't know. One thing that I don't get like a half-an-hour lecture about. So I was like, okay, well, I'll take it for that. So we get back on the truck, we're driving around, and we go past this thing. It's like a really cool rock formation, and it looks like a human face. Now, I don't know if it's just looks like a human face or if somebody actually carved it. I'm not sure. So we're looking at, you can see some of the carvings and the sketchings that are made into the rock, so that's neat. Then we come to this like cool lookout point, and it's got this steep drop like on an edge. So I'm like, I'll just, stay back. I'll take some pictures here. Like I want to get to the edge and take a cool pic, but I'm also a little bit afraid. So this is how it turned out. Then we end up, our last stop is at another Bedouin camp, and we get more tea, which I'm excited about the tea. This time Ian doesn't pour the tea, he's taking pictures. So I sit down, have some tea, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like we finished off there, headed back to the bus. Now we drive for a few more hours and get to the Dead Sea. And let me just tell you that getting off this bus, like it is hot as hell. Like the hottest day I felt the entire time I've been in Jordan. Maybe it's because we are below sea level. The Dead Sea is 430 meters below sea level, to be exact, and it is actually the lowest land elevation on the entire planet Earth. So that's cool, and it's also bloody hot. So we enter through this like resort area. That's where we get our towel rentals. And even though I've loaded up on my sunscreen, like I can just still feel the sun like burning through the sunscreen, like it's nuts. So I boot it down to the sea pretty as fast as I can. So I'm walking into the water, and it's like really, so like the Dead Sea is really, really salty. So as soon as you get deep enough, you just float. And it's like a weird float. So you think it would be easy, but it's kind of not, because you have to balance really well. Otherwise you'll just kind of keep flipping over because you're so floaty. It's and I can put my feet up in the air while I'm floating. So that's fun. And I'm still trying to balance and take pictures. So because it's so salty in the sea, it makes for a really harsh environment. So plants and animals don't really live or grow around here. So I only spend about 20 minutes in the water because like I don't want to get raging sunburn, and also I have a couple of like little cuts on my feet, like blisters from my shoes, and they are like on fire because of the salt, like unbelievable. Yeah, I'm trying to like power through it, but oh my god. It's kind of like rubbing salt into the wound when they say that. Like I know why they say that now. So then after I finish there, I head up to the showers because you really need to like rinse off all the salt, and even you rinse off and you're still not getting all the salt off. So when I get up to the shower, there's these like two super hairy dudes from Saudi Arabia, and like they want to chit chat with me, the white blonde girl. And so I'm nice, and they're really excited that I'm from Canada and everything, and I think they're trying to be flirty, and I'm just like, no. So anyways, I'm like, bye guys, nice to meet you. Then head back up to the bus to meet everybody. I can still feel the salt in my hair. It's just like, I don't even know, I can't comb it out. I'm just gonna have to wait till I get back to the hotel later on so that I can rinse it off properly. Now, when we get back into Amman, I had some ideas that I was maybe going to go explore a bit more, but you know what? I just wasn't in the mood. So Ian and I go to Carrefour. That's the place I went to on my first day to get my suitcase because my suitcase was damaged. And so I just wanted to get some last minute souvenirs because sometimes it's better to buy it there. So I picked up some soap and some face masks, like Dead Sea salt stuff. So then our last night, we end up just staying at the hotel. And so Ian and I just grab a pizza from the hotel. And then we see that a bunch of people from our group are all getting together. So they were planning on having this little get together and they didn't mention it or invite either of us. So we're like, okay. So they pull all these tables together and see us there and still don't ask us to join them. So seriously, this is the worst group that I've ever traveled with. Normally when you go on these groups, on these group tours, people are really inclusive and everybody gets to know each other, and even if you don't like someone, who gives a shit? It's for 6 days, you deal with it and you be friendly and, you know, you be nice. And this was just like not nice at all. Anyways, so that concludes my time in Jordan. I'm gonna have a few more videos, more specific videos about some other things in Jordan as well. Just to sum it up, Jordan is a fantastic place to travel. Don't even hesitate. It's very, very safe. You'll absolutely love it. So tick that one off your bucket list for sure. And that's all I'm going to talk about for now. If you're interested in my blog, here is just a .com, so you can go check that out. And of course, please subscribe to my channel if you like the content. And for now, everybody, take care and have a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Bye. See you soon.